Your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment. For coaching links down below. All my links down below. Let's get into this video. So look, holding on to beliefs is a display of intellectual laziness. Now it's not even just me who's saying this shit. The Taoist niggas said this shit. I ain't gonna lie. I was reading the Taoist I Ching back when I literally like the day before reading the I Ching. I was on the phone with my spiritual little sis. If you watching this, shout out to you, Ayana, and stuff like that. We was talking on the phone and shit, right? About how she asked me a question about my beliefs or something like that, and I kind of was just like, I don't really necessarily hold on to beliefs. Like that's kind of intellectual laziness. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the very next day, I pretty much read the same exact thing inside the I Ching, and I wish I folded the page and remembered it, because I'm like, fuck, I forgot what page that was. But they said the same. They literally said the Taoist niggas said the same thing, and also the Indian niggas understand it. You know what I'm like? Sadhguru said it before. You know what I'm saying? Hindu philosophers say this shit. Egyptian niggas say this shit too. You know what I'm saying? They may not always say it's intellectual laziness, but they do explain how at some point you don't really hold on to beliefs. You kind of just know how to properly perceive life. You know, because when you say that life is this one way and you hold that belief, you know what I'm saying? You limit yourself, you know, because if you believe that life is really this one way, then if something different happens that contradicts your belief, you're not going to be ready for it. But if you're always just clearly just perceiving life, not holding on to any beliefs, you know, not holding on to any past experiences and stuff like that, you just perceive stuff how it actually is, you know, and then you're way more prepared, and then you can actually operate with inside that frame way better. Even certain, because I wish you just get to a point where you just know certain shit to be true. People first everyone knows that 1 plus 1 equals 2 type shit, right? But it's even that kind of depends on the circumstance, because when it comes to people, right? One boy plus one girl, doing all this could make three, because it's a baby, so that what I'm saying 1 plus 1 equals 3. Now there's now 3 people involved, or you can say that it equals 1 if you only want to say the baby, you know what I'm saying? But then you can have triplets, then you get all. But my point is, even with that, and for another example, the sky is blue. I mean, yeah, the sky is blue, but it's really just blue to our senses, because people who have their senses tuned differently wouldn't really see the sky is blue. So is the sky necessarily blue, or are we just perceiving it as blue? You know what I'm saying? So it's you got to kind of be like that with everything. Is something really just this one way, or are you just perceiving it this one way, or is it just this one way for this one time? For example, at one point in your life, some shit might be bad for you, but then for example, weed. As at one point in your life, weed may be bad for you. You're just addicted. You're dependent. You can't live without it. At that point, it's bad for you. Then when you learn how to actually be sober and you enjoy being sober, all that other stuff, now you start seeing, damn, sometimes I want to be high. Sometimes I want to be sober, and then weed might benefit you. Now you smoke weed, and it can just help you relax. You know what I'm saying? It can help you, get certain information. It can help you tune your senses differently. It can do a lot of things for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's one example how something could be. Same even with shrooms. You may have a bad shroom trip one time, then a good shroom trip another time. So it's are shrooms bad, or does it just depend on the circumstance? You know what I'm saying? It's better to just perceive life how it is in front of you, instead of just saying, oh, because something was this one way that one time, it's gonna be that way this time also. That's why I made that's why I made that video about becoming a baby again, because it's bro, when you just hold on to beliefs, I call it intellectual laziness, because it's bro, when you just say, oh yeah, because I experienced that shit, then it is this one way. You know what I'm saying? It's now you don't have to think and properly perceive life when the situation happens again. You just pull from this old ass bank of experiences. You know what I'm saying? So when you make a belief and you say that, oh yeah, I believe that something is this way, that means that whenever that thing happens or comes around, you think, oh yeah, it's just this one way. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to put any extra thought. You don't have to use any extra perception to really see it in any other kind of a way. That's why I called it intellectual laziness. Now, is it really intellectual laziness? You know what I'm saying? You don't got to use that term. My point is just that holding on to beliefs is not as effective as just seeing life how it is, you know? Anytime you do something, don't try to pull from old ass shit. Just try to see shit how it is for this one time. If you ain't seen my video about becoming a baby again, go watch that video. You gotta become a baby again, bro, with everything, bro. Whether you're trying to just learn some new shit in school, cause like I remember, yo, it'll be times in school, bro, learning some math shit, bro. I would swear to God, bro, that like you use this one math formula for this new problem. Whole time that's not what the fuck you do. Like yo, there's been times, right, where I've literally tried to skip ahead inside, like you know how like you get like a math book sometimes or some shit, and like you can like see what homework is gonna come up next week or something like that. It would be times, bro, where I thought I was so fucking cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, this shit next week, I'm gonna just do the same shit I was doing this whole entire week. I'm gonna use the same equation, the same formula. Whole time, that shit is not the same. Yo, I remember math class being specifically like that, bro. It's been several times where I thought like you could use the same formula for this equation and you really can't. It's a whole different thing, you know what I'm saying? But it looked the same. It looked exactly the same. But no, nigga, it's different rules. You know what I'm saying? So, and if I was just properly, because sometimes, nigga, it's in the fucking directions. Like, nigga, it's not the same. Like, all I gotta do is just fucking read type. You know what I'm saying? And then other times, it's just like, you know, like, if I was just properly just paying attention, like, you know, if I, you know, like, if I was just focused on what the fuck was going on right now, and if I was focused on what the fuck was gonna happen when that moment came up, I would have been like, you know, like, pretty much if I didn't try to just hop ahead and be like, holy shit, like, this shit looks like this, and at this moment, I know about this one formula, then I wouldn't have, you know, used the same formula for that new problem. If I was instead just perceiving what the fuck was going on right now, aka the current math lesson, and then only focusing on that, and then waiting until that new one came the fuck up, then I wouldn't have skipped ahead and then, you know what I'm saying, scribbled on my fucking, you know, homework that was coming up next week thinking I was so smart and I gotta erase fucking everything once I actually learned that shit, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro. I've done, even though I've done that shit on tests too, from just being a dumbass. Like on some shit, like it's in the directions, like nigga, like do X, Y, and Z type shit. But the problem looks the same as the old one type shit. So I think it's exactly the same because I'm not properly perceiving what the fuck's on the paper. Instead, what I'm doing is that what's it called? I'm pulling from old ass examples and old ass beliefs and stuff like that. So yeah, bro. And when it comes to like, I said this in my Becoming a Baby Again video, bro. Like when it comes to getting information, bro, I be acting like I haven't learned this shit before. Whenever I want to learn some new shit, I act like I haven't heard shit about it before. You know what I'm saying? Then at times I may like try to compare like the old shit with the new shit, but that's different. I'm comparing stuff now. I'm not saying, oh yeah, it has to be this one way. I already learned that it's this one way, so it is this one way. No, I'm saying, okay, I learned it like this, and now it's being said like this. Let me compare certain shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even when it comes to receiving information, whether I'm like literally learning, like whether I'm reading a book or I'm literally downloading some shit off weed or shrooms, you know what I'm saying? I always try to keep an open mind. Like I never heard this shit before. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then it's like, and when I do that, right? Sometimes the same thing gets said over, like for example, I may be trying to find out like how some shit got made, right? You know what I'm saying? And then the same shit keeps popping up over and over again. They got made like this, made like this, made like this. Okay, now I kind of accept it. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't always do that. Like one time it's like, okay, it got made like this. Then the next day I find out some new component. You know what I'm saying? Or I learn about some whole different shit. You know what I'm saying? And then like a week later, that different shit makes sense with the shit I was learning before. It's like it's super weird. Like I pretty much I just don't hold on to shit that like I've always been told. I just like to keep an open mind with everything, just properly perceive what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? And like all spiritual all spiritual traditions pretty much talk about that shit, how it's best to just properly perceive what the fuck is going on right now, and you shouldn't try to like base what's going on right now off of what happened inside the past and all these beliefs that you tend to hold and stuff like that. And like yeah, instead it's best to just be like open, malleable, you know what I'm saying? And like yeah, bro, long story short, learn to properly perceive life. Because when you're holding on to beliefs, it's kind of like intellectual laziness due to the fact that if you have a belief, you know, then when something happens, right, that is, you know, like when if you believe that something is one way, you know, and then, you know, that one thing happens, you're not forced to think differently and to put any effort into perceiving it differently. You just go off the old belief. So it's kind of like intellectual laziness, but you don't got to call it that. It's just not as effective. So with that being said, it's been your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment. My coaching links are down below. All my links are down below. I'll catch you in my next video. Peace.